Moving briefly back to guest introductions. Ms. Brown, you have a guest with us in the Assembly today. You are recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. You know, today was the day that we not celebrated, but recognized the fallen officers. And in San Bernardino, we had one, Bryce Haynes, and the end of his watch was November 5th, 2015. Driving all the way here from San Bernardino, in the heart of my district, are some officers in the back. Please turn your attention to them. Tina Martinez, Steve Carilius, his wife, Laura, Stacy Marino, Manuel Valenzuela, Darren Sims, and from Colton, Edgar Perez and Ricky Cantrell. They're here with us today, and I just want you to give them a good round of applause because they are SB Strong.
Members, we are moving to business on the daily file. Second reading, clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2105, 2453, 2176, 2300, 2621, 2024, 2763, 2618 with amendments, 2362 with amendments, 2819 with amendments, 2613 with amendments, 1850 with amendments, and 2748 with amendments.
All bills will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Moving to the file. Members, on Assembly third reading, we are going to move to item 17. That's ACR 100 by Mr. Allen. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 100 by Assemblymember Travis Allen, relative to the Kevin Wojcik Memorial Highway.
Members, Mr. Allen, you may open on the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Today, I'd like this opportunity to present ACR 100, which dedicates a portion of Interstate 405 through Seal Beach as a Kevin Wojak Memorial Highway. With this resolution, all of California will commemorate the life and service of Kevin Wojak, a constituent of mine who bravely lost his life battling a wildfire at the age of 21, along with 18 of his crewmates in Yarnell, Arizona. Kevin was an attendee of the Los Al Unified School District. He attended McGaw Elementary, McAuliffe Middle, and Los Alamitos High Schools. During that time, he was a proud Seal Beach junior lifeguard and also a member of the LA County Fire Department Explorer program, following in his father, Los Angeles County Fire Captain Joe Wojak's footsteps, as well as 5 successive generations before him. While still in high school, Kevin finished his emergency medical technician certification and shortly after graduating joined an ambulance crew. After high school, he wanted to continue his family's long-standing firefighting legacy by joining an elite fire crew in Arizona called the Granite Mountain Hotshots. The Hotshots operate in 20-man crews that undergo rigorous training and are deployed to the front lines of wildfires across the region. Only a few months later, Kevin and his Granite Mountain Hotshot crew were battling the Yarnell Hill Fire, southwest of Prescott, Arizona. Over 400 firefighters were battling the wildfire, and the entire town of Yarnell had been evacuated from their homes. On June 30th, 2013, the fire ambushed Kevin's crew's position due to high, shifting winds, and he, along with his brave team, fought tirelessly to subdue the fire, but were trapped by the flames. The men dug holes and covered themselves with aluminum shields as a last resort to protect themselves from the fire. But tragically, 19 of the 20 young men, including Kevin, were killed in the deadliest wildland firefighting disaster since 1933. Kevin Wojak's selfless pursuits from an early age and the heroic bravery he displayed are worthy of our highway dedication that runs right through his hometown of Seal Beach, California. This dedication will serve as a reminder to the community and his family that although Kevin is no longer with us, his memory will live on. I'd also like to highlight that in 2 days, May 4th, it will be International Firefighters Day, a day that honors our firefighting community for their tireless service to keep our community safe, and they are here to represent as well today from the CAL FIRE Foundation on the floor in support of ACR 100. In closing, on behalf of the entire community, I thank you for helping to honor wildland firefighter Kevin Wojak, the life he lived, the family he loved, and the profession he was so deeply passionate about. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to open the first roll for co-authors.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Seeing no additional discussion on this item, the first roll will be open for co-authors on ACR 100. Clerk will open the roll. All members wishing to add as co-authors. Members, this is for co-authors on the resolution. This is for co-authors. The clerk will close the roll. There are 69 co-authors added. We will take a roll call vote on this item. The clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. There are 70 ayes, 0 noes. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Allen, you have the floor for your guest introductions relative to the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'd like to welcome to the floor the Wojak family. We have Captain Joe Wojak of the LA County Fire. We have his wife, Anna Wojak, Bobby Wojak, his brother, and Amanda Bodman, his brother's fiancée. Could we all give them a warm welcome and a thank you very much for the sacrifice of their son and brother, Kevin Wojak. Members, I'd also like to welcome Hetty Jalen of the California Fire Foundation's Executive Director, and finally, a group from Cal Last, members who helped lead the Los Al ramp ceremony, which honored Kevin and Chris McKenzie in the district. Thomas J., Battalion Chief of the City of Riverside Fire Department, Ben Dominguez, retired firefighter of the Roseville Fire Department, and Ben Core, a firefighter of the Corona Fire Department. Thank you all very much for being here today.
Members, we are back on the file. We're going to move to concurrence items. File item number 14. This is file item 14, AB 1200 by Mr. Gordon. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1200 by Assemblymember Gordon, an act relating to the Political Reform Act of 1974, declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. Gordon, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last year, this House approved AB 1200 by a vote of 79 to nothing. The bill was put on hold in the Senate after last-minute opposition surfaced. We used the interim to work to address that opposition. Senate amendments added an urgency clause to give the Fair Political Practices Commission sufficient time to implement this legislation, and it narrowed the definition of a lobbyist. Recently, the Senate approved an amended version of AB 1200 by a vote of 38 to 1. That is why we are back here today for a concurrence vote. AB 1200 will bring transparency to the state procurement process, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Ms. Grove, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of this bill. You know, when the author first brought this bill forward, a lot of the people in my district and my county had a huge concerns over the effects of what was defining a lobbyist. So, like, we had a private business that negotiated contracts with the county, and the contract value exceeded the dollar amount that was in the bill, but they truly were just an outside salesperson negotiating deals with the county or other private business. And so when I brought that concern to the author, he immediately made sure that those regular outside business people were not considered lobbyists, and he narrowed that definition. And I'd like to applaud the author for doing that and making sure that regular outside business people, outside sales people, weren't affected by this particular piece of legislation. So I encourage an aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Grove. Seeing no additional discussion on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 68, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 68, no 0 on the bill. Senate amendments are concurred in. File items 15 and 16 shall be continued. We've dispensed with file item 17. File items 18 and 19 pass and retain. We are moving to file item number 20. That's H.R. 28 by Mr. DeBobney. Clerk will read.
House Resolution 28 by Assemblymember DeBobney and others relative to humane education.
Mr. DeBobney, you may open.
Good afternoon, Speaker, colleagues. Today I want to introduce H.R. 28, which is going to increase awareness about the humane treatment of animals in our schools. California's education code already includes language related to the humane treatment of animals within the Hate Violence Prevention Act. And this resolution calls for a greater focus to be placed on using it to prevent animal abuse and neglect in our communities. Far too often we are seeing cases of animal abuse that are disturbing and appalling. I know in my own district we've seen a number of cases where animals were tortured by adolescents as young as 8 and 9 years old. Recently we just saw in the news in Oakland a man was sentenced for drenching a puppy in bleach and throwing it off a balcony in an effort to entertain his friends. Luckily, this puppy survived. In Merced County, we have reported a number of spikes in animal cruelty cases, and San Bernardino County has just created an animal cruelty task force to combat the rise in animal abuse cases. According to various studies, those who abuse animals are more likely to abuse humans, and research has pointed to a direct correlation between animal abuse, domestic violence, and other violent crimes against other humans. In fact, animal cruelty is one of the earliest and most dramatic indicators that individuals will be developing into certain patterns of violence later in life. Stories of animal abuse are becoming too common, and this resolution simply states that we should use our education code and our curriculum in place to encourage the increased knowledge among our students on the humane treatment of animals. I respectfully would like to also thank all my co-authors on this bill as it went through committee, including Majority Leader Calderon. And also like to highlight that this is a bill that came from constituents in my district, Katie Cleary and Judy Mancuso. I appreciate them for bringing this to the floor, and we look forward to keeping the first roll open for more co-authors.
Thank you, Mr. Babney. Mr. Calderon, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise in support of H.R. 28. H.R. 28 will help our students learn about compassion and respect when it comes to animal welfare. Teaching children about environmental justice and the humane treatment of animals at a young age is critical. It instills in them a sense of empathy and kindness and encourages them to be conscious citizens. It will also teach our kids about current laws and regulations pertaining to the humane treatment of animals, and in hopes that one day they will help educate others. Expanding humane education is an important step towards achieving this goal. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Mr. DeBobney, you may close if you wish.
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Mr. DeBobney is asking the first roll be open for co-authors. Members, clerk will open the roll. This is for co-authors adding on to H.R. 28. This is for co-authors on the House resolution. Clerk will close the roll. There are 73 co-authors added. Without objection, we may take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. File items 21 through 24 pass and retain. We're moving to file item number 25. That's AB 2361. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2361 by Assembly Member Santiago, an act relating to peace officers.
Mr. Santiago, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 2361 would allow public safety officers at USC to be designated as peace officers. Many states have statutes that extend peace officer status to individuals employed at private and nonprofit universities. This measure would improve student safety and the surrounding communities. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Santiago. Mr. Jones-Sawyer, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I, too, rise in support of AB 2361. The University of Southern California is in my backyard and is home to 43,000 students who have an expectation that the school will keep them safe from external threats. This bill, in allowing USC-employed security guards who enforce the law on the USC campus and surrounding university property to be appointed and to serve as peace officers, and is a step in the right direction to ensuring that both students and their parents' expectations for student safety are met. Colleagues, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Jones-Sawyer. I see no discussion or debate on this item. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 70, noes 3. Measure passes. File items 26 through 32 pass and retain. We're moving to file item 33, ACR 161. Clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 161 by Assembly Member Waldron, relative to Bladder Cancer Awareness Month.
Ms. Waldron, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bladder cancer is the 5th most common cancer, exceeded only by breast, lung, prostate, and colon cancer. In the United States, 500,000 people are living with bladder cancer. 75,000 cases will be diagnosed this year, and 16,000 will die of the disease. Yet, despite its prevalence and its frequent recurrence, which requires a lifetime of follow-up, bladder cancer is unknown to most of the public. Awareness of bladder cancer is important, and ACR 161 commemorates May as Bladder Cancer Awareness Month in California. During this month, across the state, from Sacramento to San Diego, bladder cancer survivors and their friends and families will walk to honor those who have died and to bring attention to the disease and the need for increased research into its prevention and cure. I ask that the first roll be open for co-authors.
Thank you very much, Ms. Waldron. Seeing no discussion on the item, Ms. Waldron is asking the first roll be open for co-authors. Clerk will open the roll. Members, this is for co-authors on ACR 161. This is for co-authors adding on the resolution. The clerk will close the roll. There are 74 co-authors added. Without objection, we may take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. File items 34 through 36 pass and retain. We dispensed with file item 37. File items 38 through 43 Pass and retain. We're moving to file item 44, AB 2691. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2691 by Assemblymember Holden, an act relating to taxation.
Mr. Holden, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 2691 would authorize the county boards of supervisors to implement a monthly payment tax program. The program would allow seniors and people with disabilities living on a fixed income to pay their property tax in monthly installments. For individuals living on fixed income, it can be difficult to save up for a large annual property tax expenditure. With the rise of new technology and online payment options, AB 2691 would permit a county to opt in to a monthly payment program for people on fixed incomes. This measure is permissive. It is passed unanimously in committee, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 73, no 0. Measure passes. File items 45 and 46 pass and retain. We're moving to file item 47. That's AB 2128. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2128 by Assemblymember Shajian, an act relating to marriage.
Mr. Shajian, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present AB 2128, which requires the county clerk and state registrar to approve a marriage by proxy for members of the armed services stationed overseas and who are unable to return home for the ceremony, as long as the power of attorney has been completed. This bill will ensure that a marriage certificate is honored and that the county clerks and the state registrar are not forced to determine whether or not the service member is stationed in an area of war or conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shajian. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 74, no 0. Measure passes. File item 48 is AB 1702 by Mr. Stone. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1702 by Assemblymember Mark Stone and others, an act relating to juveniles.
Mr. Stone, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, removing a child from a family, from its parents, is a very, very serious decision. And there are times when we want to incentivize the reunification of that child with their parents, and there are times when we want to take that reunification off the table. There is a list in statute of certain circumstances where we will not seek reunification. What this bill does is adds to that list that if the parent was sexually trafficking that child, that parent does not have an expectation of having that child reunified with them. I think this is good policy, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 74, no 0. Measure passes. File items 49 through 54 pass and retain. We're moving to file item 55. That's AB 2735 by Mr. Jones Sawyer. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2735 by Assemblymember Jones Sawyer, an act relating to public employment.
Mr. Jones Sawyer, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2735 would authorize designated public employees to be paid at their regular rate of pay for up to 80 hours of eligible unused leave credit based on the fiscal budget of the department. AB 2735 seeks to equate the number of hours for buyback to 80 for both state supervisors and managers, removing the discrepancy in the number of hours. This bill makes no appropriation, and payments can only be made out of the existing department funds if they are deemed available for this purpose. The LEO recommended that the legislature act to reduce leave balance liabilities by instituting a leave buyback program because it reduces the employer's outstanding long-term liabilities. AB 2735 seeks to do this. Colleagues, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Jones Sawyer. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tie the vote. Ayes 74, no 0. Measure passes. File items 56 through 59, pass and retain. File item 60 is AB 1921. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1921 by Assemblymember Gonzalez, an act relating to elections.
Ms. Gonzalez, you may open.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1921 would simply allow mail ballot voters the opportunity to decide who returns their completed ballot for them. Mail ballots have increasingly become a popular way of voting here in California, but data shows that nearly half of the ballots sent out never get returned. From the mobility impaired individual who lives alone, but that day can't make it to the mailbox, to the college student like my own who can never find a stamp and doesn't understand that people actually have them, our current system, which limits the return of ballots to close family and household members, is just another barrier to actually voting. States like Texas, Oregon, Arkansas, and Colorado all currently allow any person to turn in a voter's completed mail ballot. AB 1921's changes help further reduce barriers to participation in our democracy and leaves the decision of who to trust with their ballot up to the one person who is most qualified to make it matter, the voter. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Mr. Harper, you are recognized.
Thank you much, Mr. Speaker and members. This bill would legalize the practice that is illegal in all but a handful of states: vote-by-mail ballot harvesting. Ballot harvesting involves hiring people to coax voters into filling out a ballot in favor of their candidate, a process that I don't think should be put over into paid political operatives as well as union stewards or other union officials. This may lead to campaign workers targeting voters of the opposite political party, pick up their ballots, and then destroy them so their votes are not counted. Vote-by-mail voting is the most likely avenue for election fraud. We should work to stop fraud, not to encourage it. This bill is not necessary. State law allows vote-by-mail ballots to be received up to 3 days after the election and still be counted. And in fact, while it is the cost of a stamp, the post office is an impartial source for delivery to the registrar of voters. Vote-by-mail ballots are sent out early, enough to give voters plenty of time to return them, and I respectfully ask for a no vote on this bill.
Mr. Alejo, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this bill, and I want to thank my colleague from San Diego for bringing this important measure forward. The right to vote is among the most important, most fundamental rights that Americans enjoy. It is a foundational right that ensures that we have a right to have our voices heard by our leaders, and it ensures that we can keep them accountable for their decisions. To that end, we as a legislature must do whatever we can to make it easier for the citizens of this country to vote. We have made a lot of progress over the last several years, and in particular, I want to thank this author, as well as my colleague from South San Francisco, for their efforts to increase voter turnout by reducing barriers to voting. AB 1921 will increase the pool of people who can be designated by a voter to return a vote-by-mail ballot to a polling place. It does so while providing necessary safeguards to prevent voter fraud. This bill also recognizes the changing reality that voters who are unable to physically transport themselves to a polling place are not necessarily being aided or cared for by family members. Under existing law, if they do not have certain family members available to return a vote-by-mail ballot, they would effectively be disenfranchised. This bill is an important step forward to ensuring that being a citizen of this great country and that of this state is guaranteed to actually being to be able to vote and have a voice in the governing of our representative democracy that we're all very proud of. With that, members, I ask you to join me in supporting this important measure.
Thank you, Mr. Alejo. Mr. Gray, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. I rise in support of this measure. I actually had the pleasure of sitting through the policy committee hearing on this issue and listened to the debate and the dialogue, and I believe our good friend from Huntington Beach mentioned that he was in the practice of carrying a roll of stamps when he walked precincts. And although I'm not entirely clear on whether that's currently allowed or not allowed, to the extent that we can make it easier for folks to vote, we should be doing that. That's what this bill does, and I support it.
Seeing no additional discussion or debate on the item, Ms. Gonzalez, you may close.
Thank you. I do want to point out that crimes like bribery, intimidation, and altering or failing to turn in a ballot one was designated to turn in are still crimes subject to prosecution. AB 1921 would also prohibit any compensation to volunteers and campaign workers on a per ballot basis in order to safeguard against potential fraud. As my colleague from Merced was talking about, we had this discussion in policy committee, and I don't think any of us on this floor have ever walked precincts without having a situation where somebody was stuck with a mail-in ballot, and for some reason or another, because they didn't have a stamp or somebody who could return it, they were going without a vote. Unfortunately, it is still the law. It's federal law that you cannot hand them a stamp, although apparently some people have been doing that. In order to not violate federal law, I think it is much more advisable that we are all able to simply take a ballot from an individual, that person could turn it in at their church, at their union hall, to their neighbor, to anybody that they trust to turn in their ballot for them. This is common sense. It reduces barriers to voting, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. With that, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 45, noes 27. Measure passes. File items 61 through 66 pass and retain. We're moving to file item 67 on Senate third reading. File item 67 is SCR 122. Clerk will read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 122 by Senator Bell and others relative to Autism Awareness Month.
Mr. Mathis, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present SCR 122, which recognizes April 2016 as Autism Awareness Month. With the prevalent rate of 1 in 68 children and 1 in 42 boys with autism is quickly becoming the most commonly diagnosed mental health condition in America. Autism is not a single disorder, but rather a spectrum of relative developmental conditions. Its key symptoms are difficulty in social interaction, decreased communication skills, and restricted and repetitive behavior. Every year, Autism Speaks celebrates Light It Up Blue Day every April, which commemorates those with autism by illuminating light fixtures with blue light, fighting stigma, and bringing awareness to people living with autism. Please join me in supporting SCR 122 to help increase awareness and end the stigma of autism. I ask for your aye vote and ask for the first roll to be open for co-authors.
Thank you, Mr. Mathis. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, Mr. Mathis is asking the first roll be open for co-authors. Clerk will open the roll. Members, this is for co-authors on the resolution. Members wishing to add as co-authors on SCR 122. The clerk will close the roll. There are 75 co-authors added. Without objection, we may take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted. File items 68 and 69 pass and retain. We're moving to consent calendar. Members, does any member wish to remove an item from the consent calendar? Seeing and hearing none, the clerk will read the second-day consent calendar.
Assembly Bill 2416 by Assemblymember Wilk, an act relating to escrow agent credit.
The clerk will open the roll on the second-day consent calendar. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. This is consent calendar, members. The clerk will close the roll. Ayes 76, no 0. The consent calendar is adopted. The clerk will read the remaining bills on the second-day consent calendar.
Assembly Bill 2907.
Ayes 76, no 0.
Assembly Bill 2651.
Ayes 76, no 0.
Assembly Bill 2217.
Ayes 76, no 0.
Assembly Bill 2810.
Ayes 76, no 0.
Assembly Bill 1735.
Ayes 76, no 0.
And Assembly Bill 2296.
Ayes 76, no 0. The session schedule is as follows. Tuesday, May 3rd, check-in session. Wednesday, May 4th, check-in session. Thursday, May 5th, floor session at 9 a.m. All other items remaining will be passed and retained. All motions shall be continued. Seeing and hearing no further business, I'm ready to entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Gibson moves, Ms. Waldron seconds. That this House stands adjourned until Thursday, May 5th at 9 a.m. Quorum call is lifted.